Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition, brand new edition, of You Say Maize, I Say Blue, your favorite sports banter show. I'm Andrew Bahena, joined by Danny Rohde here. I'm just going to get it started. I'm going to say, never was I so happy than so blue this weekend when I saw the ups and downs, this week, I'm sorry, of the Michigan sports programs. But Danny, what about you?
You know what? I'm going to say Maize, and I'm going to say I was amazed as to how our basketball season went. We went 21-14 this season, so it's a big improvement over last season. Speaking of which, we're going to go right into it. We're going to go right into Michigan hoops. So we have the NCAA tournament, so we have a win versus Clemson, and what do you think about that?
You know, the win versus Clemson I was pretty excited about. It was, we got up big, you know, in the second half. They started coming back late. You know, I got a little scared, but you know, the Wolverines really showed that they had what it took to win this game. You had Manny Harris, Deshaun Sims really stepping up. You just had some great action, some great play, and I really think that this win versus Clemson cemented, you know, some momentum into next year, no matter what happened in the second round, as we saw with Oklahoma. What'd you have to say about that game?
I mean, I felt that the refs made a bunch of bad calls in the Oklahoma game. It looked like, to me, it looked like they were just favoring Blake Griffin. Maybe it's just me and thinking that they always favor the superstar players, although I always thought that was only an NBA thing, that they would always give the NBA stars, oh, well, here's the foul call. But it seemed like that was how it's going with Griffin. Well, you know,
the fact of the matter is Blake Griffin is probably going to be a professional basketball player very soon and a star, getting that type of treatment like we talked about. I think he just proved too much, you know, 32 points. We just couldn't, you know, we couldn't hang. Excuse me, the Wolverines couldn't hang. However, you know, looking at the season in general, I was happy. You know, we finished 21-14, you know, including the conference, or including the tournament. That's a huge improvement over 9-30 last year. I mean, I can't even imagine what, as a Michigan fan, what I would have said last year our record would have been. I do not think that, you know, I would have said the Wolverines would have been 21-14, and it's something that we all need to be happy about. And, you know, what do you think about this?
I mean, we had huge wins this season. We beat Duke. We beat UCLA in the Garden. You know, yeah, we didn't beat Ohio State or Michigan State, our rivals. You know, we beat Purdue at home. We even, at the end of the season, finally went on the road and beat Minnesota, which is another hurdle that you have to win on the road in order to become a successful basketball team. And I think that Beeline's attitude is, you know what, we could take this year by year. And year one, yeah, we weren't that good. Year two, the Michigan team got a lot better. So what do we have to look forward to during year three? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that's a key thing to look at. You see Manny Harris, you know, continuing his grand play from freshman year to his next year. You saw Deshaun Sims really breaking out to 15.4 points per game. You really, you know, this team is going to get better next year, and it's something we're really looking forward to. But, you know, we got to move on. Looking to the next topic, we're going U of M hockey. You know, you had the meltdown versus Notre Dame at the Joe in the CCHA finals. What do you think about that, and what's your potential road to DC for this team?
So we were up 2-0 midway through the second period, and then they scored a goal, so it's 2-1. And then in the third period, Notre Dame came out with 4 goals in the third period, including 2 within a matter of, I think, a minute or so. So it was really a meltdown. I was very surprised by it. I don't know. What do you think?
You know, this is something that it was a meltdown, and the fact of the matter is they really need to get past this. This team cannot handle, especially Brian Hogan, to sit here and you know, just harp on this loss, because they need to get ready for Air Force, and they need to get ready for the NCAAs. And giving up 4 goals in the third period, 5 straight goals, no less, after, you know, leading 2-0 for a while, it's really a bad sign, but it's something that I really think they can get over. And they need to, you know, they have a good coach, experienced coach in Berenson, and some veteran leadership, so hopefully we'll see it happen.
I mean, the last couple of years, yeah, the team has been very good, but then towards the end of the season, what you would see this drop-off. You would see, like, whenever the team would get to the NCAA tournament, they would just end up just bowing out, you know? Like, they lost to Notre Dame last year when they were the number one seed. So you have to look at this as, uh-oh, what's going to happen now? I mean, the hockey team has to go to Bridgeport, Connecticut to play probably Yale in the regional final there, and Yale is only 30 minutes away from Bridgeport, so it basically is a road game for them.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that you know, that this team is going to have to worry about. You know, then looking ahead, you could have Notre Dame or Boston University in the next round, and really, you know, but the key thing is to not look ahead here. this team has lost some big games or some games against inferior teams in the past, and you can't overlook Air Force. And if Vermont was to beat Yale, we can't overlook Vermont. This team needs to look forward to the next game at hand and keep a sense of consistency that they have had for a good part of the season. But sometimes they seem to lose it at the end. So.
All right, moving on. We now got to go back to basketball. We're going to go just the entire tournament. So, what were your surprises, disappointments? How's your bracket doing?
All right. Well, looking at my bracket, I'm not doing too bad. Granted, I picked some upsets that didn't seem to pull through for me, but. Whatever. I'm pretty excited, surprised, and excited about Arizona, who I did pick, by the way.
I did too. I did too. Sweet 16.
Kudos.
I had them over Wake Forest, but Wake Forest decided to.
But I'm very excited to see them play in the next round. And I really like this interim head coach they have in Russ Pennell. I'd like to see him come back next year. They haven't played the best competition in Utah and then Cleveland State. Utah getting that 5 seed as a mid-major, but. I really think this is a team that could win some more games, and I love them here. It's great to see them. They're a classic powerhouse, so it doesn't seem that weird to hear them here as an upset pick, but whatever. I'm a little disappointed about the lack of upsets this year. Do you have any thoughts on that, Rob?
I mean, if the stats say here that all the number 1 seeds, all the number 2 seeds, all the number 3 seeds, they all are in the Sweet 16 for the first time since the field was expanded to 64 teams. The lack of upsets, where's the Davidson? Where's the George Mason? I don't see it. We have Arizona and Purdue, and then everybody else is a 4 seed. So, I mean, there's not just the upsets. Yeah, you'll get the good matchups in the Sweet 16. You're going to get the Villanova versus Duke in the East. You're going to get the Pitt Xaviers, of the world. So you're going to get these great matchups in the Sweet 16. But isn't the aura of the March Madness the idea that you just have the upsets, you have these teams come out of nowhere and then just come back?
I agree with you, but one thing I would like to point out is does the fact that, the 14 out of the top 16 seeds made the Sweet 16 prove to you that the selection committee got it right this time? One thing that I have to think about, pretty much, the last 5 teams in the tournament, you had Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, 3 Big Ten teams, obviously, and Maryland, teams like that. They all won a first-round game. Does that mean the selection committee got it right, not letting those mid-majors in? It's something to think about, and honestly, the answer is I don't think anybody knows, considering those mid-majors, didn't get in, and we don't know if they would have won or not. But it's pretty cool to see. I think it's disappointing, but then it's also cool to see that the selection committee could have gotten it that right.
I mean, I think the selection committee did a pretty good job. I mean, the last team in, according to everybody, was Arizona, and Arizona just came out and won 2 games. So if you're going to talk about the last 5 teams, as you were saying, Michigan won a game, Minnesota lost, Wisconsin won a game. So these last few teams are actually able to win games, and that's the whole reason why they were put into the first place as an at-large team.
Yeah, of course.